Hello everyone, this is Team Incredibles presenting an overview of our prenatal care health app developed as part of CS6440 Intro to Health Informatics and the Department of Computer Science, Georgia Tech, under the guidance of our mentor Raj Vansia. To give a brief overview of this project, we were tasked to develop an app which detects the condition called preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is a condition that is marked by high blood pressure in pregnant women. The high blood pressure could be fatal to both the mother and the fetus. So as part of this project, we were tasked to basically develop a web app which has a provider view and a patient-centric view. Patients could enter the vital signs and share that information with the provider, and provider would get a dashboard view with an automated alert based on the entered data that is indicative of the condition for preeclampsia.
This slide talks about the research that we did for preeclampsia. So the defining characteristic of preeclampsia is after the 20-week period inside the pregnancy, a high blood pressure reading of 140/90 at least 4 hours apart. And furthering to our research, we collected the symptoms, the risk profiles, and the observation codes. So you can see the symptoms have been listed here, and the risk profile like previous experience of preeclampsia and patients have had high blood pressure and so on. And we visited the LONC and SNOMD websites to collect the observation for systolic and diastolic pressure, heart rate, body weight, and so on. So this slide containing the research, and you can see all the SNOMED codes for the observations or the symptoms. And we also did some research on the treatment after the preeclampsia has been diagnosed. And you can see it here like ultrasound and medications which we need to provide. For the reference to all these research work, we visited the WebMD, the Mayo Clinic website, as well as the LONC, SNOMED.org websites.
So based on the research that we conducted, we came up with the high-level functional requirements. These are the high-level functional requirements for a patient view. And this slide basically captures the high-level functional requirements for a provider view. The picture depicts an high-level functional architecture. On the left-hand side, you have the health provider app and the patient have both web applications. On the right, you have a happy R4 server backed by a PostgreSQL database, and the app should talks to the happy fire server over a fire interface. So this provides an overview of our team. Basically, we were a team of 6 members with diversified skills and capabilities. So the overview, you could see that the kind of roles that each one played and the technical expertise they brought into the development of this prenatal care health app.
As explained in architecture slide, this prenatal care solution comprises of 3 layers. Frontend is a web application built on AngularJS framework utilizing HTML5 and CSS3. Happy Fire Server built on Java RESTful API server. Backend database is built on PostgreSQL. We have used Docker for containerization and deployment. Our prenatal care solution supports HTAP and local deployment models. Here is the build and deployment steps for HTAP. First, log into drone using the link mentioned here. Look for prenatal-care-2 under build details. Ensure the build has passed all stages. Note that drone YAML and values YAML provided with this solution are pre-configured to run on HTAP. Then log into Rancher using link mentioned here. Select workloads and search for prenatal care 2. Verify that Happy Server, prenatal care app, and database are running. Data load tool is provided with this solution to load initial dataset. Details of prerequisites and usage are provided in README file shared with this solution. This slide explains the build and deployment of our prenatal care solution on a local machine. First, clone Git repository through the Git link provided here using sudo git clone command. Open terminal and set path to prenatal-care-2. Modify happy properties file found under resources to set server address and data source access details as mentioned here. Set isDeployed local indicator to true in controller.js files listed here. Lastly, execute Docker command to complete the build and deploy of prenatal care web app, Happy Fire server, and database.
Now we'll go through the demo of prenatal care app portal. Each user will be provided with a URL for the home page. On the home page, user will have option to select as a patient or provider. Once user selects a patient option, he or she will ask to enter his MRN to the system so that they can log in. On successful login, user should be able to see their vitals records and they should be able to insert the data they want to insert. Upon insertion of the data, user will have two options, either to record the data as an observation and or discard the data. Once user clicks on record, each of these property will get saved as a single separate observation and user will get a message saying record saved successful. The provider will select the option as a provider and they will be navigated to provider login page. Upon successful login, they should be able to see the data for the user, all of the patient in the list, and their status. The data which is in red is something a provider has to look into so that they can notify the users. On click of each of the name or the row of the user information, they'll be navigated to patient details page where they can see the patient's vital, their history, their symptoms, and last 10 vitals they have recorded. This will help provider to identify the points where they need to update the patient about their vitals or they need to change the medication or not. Upon logout, provider will be navigated to home page again. Thank you.
Please refer to the YouTube video or the MP4 file. Check into the GitHub for a detailed demo of the application.
In this slide, we will talk about the project status. As we can see, we had a roughly about 6-week time frame for the complete project end to end. We started with the planning and requirement and completed the architecture and design, and we had about 4 weeks roughly for build phase, and we had 2 weeks for implementation and submission. This slide shows a Gantt chart for the project plan. This shows all the subtasks for each phase of the project. It also shows a start date, planned finish date, and the resource allocated for each task. It also shows the dependency between each task. This slide shows the future plan and opportunities for the application. We could enhance the application by adding new features like interactive charts for the provider to drill down more patient details, adding in exchanging messages between the provider and the patient, ability for the provider to enter prescription, and ability for patient to share the profile with another provider of their choice. We could also add notifications for both provider and the patient. We could also possibly build a mobile application as well for this application, and we could also extend this application to record vitals and alerts for other medical conditions as well.
On a final note, we thank our mentor Rajvansia for his valuable time, feedback and guidance in development and deployment of prenatal care health app.